Thank you for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review, Episode 16.
欢迎来到梦幻武士评论第16集。
I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Mick Strawn.
We just saw a movie that was about the Shaolin monk and his special powers and his friends.
Those were his brothers.
Yeah, his brothers.
Right.
They joined together to overcome evil.
The evil soccer team boss.
Yeah, that's about my best description so far.
Come on, name that movie.
It was called Shaolin Soccer.
Soccer.
Yes.
Because everybody should have that movie in their pocket that they can pull out and say, "Oh yeah, you think that's weird? Check this out."
It was a weird movie.
It's incredibly weird. It's one of those films that I call them bubblegum effects.
Yeah, I agree.
For lack of a better, like you said, like Kazaam. Kazaam has the same kind of bubblegum effects.
This and the same kind of cheesy plot that.
Right. Although I have to say, Shaolin did it so much better. It is so far out there.
Well, this had a lot of. This is like a whole bunch of movies mixed together.
Oh yeah. It's an homage to absolutely everything you can imagine.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh yeah.
Rocky. I mean, elements of Rocky.
Right.
Even the breakup with Adrian, that was in there.
Oh yeah,
for a short time.
The old Mickey Mantle, let's put on a show.
Yeah,
right.
Ladybugs, Rodney Dangerfield movie.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Else?
What's the one with Burt Reynolds? The Longest Yard. Is that what it's called?
The Longest Yard. Yeah,
yes,
that's right.
The
Longest Yard. Yeah.
Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder, where they are learning how to play.
E.T.
They're in the prison and they learn how to rodeo.
Right,
that?
exactly.
It was kind of similar.
And E.T.
Yeah, E.T. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman. Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of Pretty Woman. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's an amazing film. It really is.
But the special effects alone were amazing.
Yeah. The special effects and the ability to take the special effects when you first see them, you go, wow. That's really exaggerated and weird. And then just keep going and going and going.
I like how the effects started simple at first.
Yeah.
And then they kind of gradually
and
then the end, the effects were amazing.
Yeah. And by the end of it, yeah.
I was like, how far could they take this?
That's the really cool thing about it, especially when you really know effects well. And you're going, well, how far are you going to go if you've decided that you're not going to stop at reality and you're not going to stop at just exaggeration. You're just not going to stop.
Right.
You just keep going.
Oh, Woody Allen Bananas and maybe everything you want to know about sex but we're afraid to ask.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It even has that feel to it. Yeah.
Well, I kept thinking of movies while I was watching it. I'm like, oh, they must watch a lot of American movies.
Yeah, me too. Thing is, I keep going. There was an absolute reference to a couple of films that even escape me now, and they were so obvious, and you're going, wow, that's...
So my question is, was Bruce Lee a kung fu expert? Wasn't he karate? Or was he kung fu?
I thought David Carradine's stuff was kung
I think
fu.
That was the only thing I noticed was that was the one flaw.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the dialogue was so amazing that that's the only thing I caught.
Yeah, and the weird thing is like I say, he did Stephen Chow did another film. I can't think of the name of it, but it's basically a gangster film about one town versus another, and it has a lot of the same elements in it, and it's sort of that good versus evil. And it keeps getting exaggerated, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and you're just like, wow, that's just awesome. And it's very and it has that very colorful theatrical look, and
There's another movie. Oh God, I can't remember. It had the guy from MASH, the guy that played Pierce, I think it was, or not Pierce, Hawkeye maybe. Hawkeye, I always get those guys confused.
Gould?
No, the guy with the dark hair, Alan Alda.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, yeah.
He was in a Woody Allen movie where they're in a hospital and the doctors just start singing from out of nowhere.
Oh, you like Cop Rock?
Kind of like Cop Rock, which was an amazing show in itself.
Yeah, that's...
How long was that on? Not even a season, probably, was it?
Cop Rock was a season and a half.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, and I lived... it's funny because I had a friend of mine say that Cop Rock was was what happens when Hollywood started to sober up. It's like, yeah, because of insurance problems, all of a sudden, rap beer disappeared, and all of a sudden, people actually started to look down on drugs. And
Right.
the first thing we get is cop rock.
We had Reagan, like, wasn't that when Reagan was doing the say no to drugs? This is your brain on drugs.
Oh yeah, no, but no, what it really happened when all of a sudden cocaine became a street drug. Until then, it was very elite. You know, and as soon as it stopped being elite, well, people that were elite, stopped doing it in public anyway.
Because the common people were using it.
Exactly. Common people.
That's what Hollywood needs, is a new drug that's elite.
One that won't make me sick, won't make me stay up all night, won't make me feel 3 feet thick.
Make you nervous.
Yeah.
Wondering what to do.
Nervous. Wondering what to do.
So this is gonna go down as probably one of our weirdest reviews.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you gotta admit, it's because it is one of the weirdest films.
Okay, so for dialogue, I'd give it a 2. For plot, I'd probably give it a 2.5. For effects, 5.
I was gonna say,
so it
on a scale of 1 to 10,
1 to 10.
I think effects get 12.5.
I would give it. Well, I was going with 5 stars, so I would probably give it about a 4, 3.5 or 4. Entertainment value.
Oh yeah, entertainment value. Listen, it's a go-to. It's in your pocket now, and you can whip it out. You can whip it out. You can whip it out. And beat anybody's. Oh, I got a weird film to show you.
Whip it out any time, unless your name is Harvey Weinstein.
Well, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're not doing that kind of show.
It's funny. You mentioned Kazaam at the end of that.
Yes. The only difference with this and Kazaam is that the plot of Kazaam was even worse, and the acting was horrific. Not to trash any particular basketball players or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't mention any names.
Yeah, we actually had when we filmed Kazaam, we actually had we carried a professional, and I had to be the one that went out and got this, a professional basketball hoop. The whole 9 yards, with you had to bring it in with a forklift,
right,
and set it down like this.
Glass backboard.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, it was I forgot where we got it. We actually rented it. I think that we rented it from one of the large stadiums. Because that's what they use for the professional games. And the thing that was weird about it is they were trying at that time. Shaq was still with the Heat, and he hadn't gone over to the dark side. And what they decided is that they were going to have him practice, constantly while he was doing this movie, so that he didn't, fall out of practice for doing something he couldn't do anyway, which was free throws.
Right.
He was terrible at it.
Yes, he was. Yeah, famous for that.
And one day there was a contest between him and the grips, and every grip beat him, and I had to take it back. I was told I had to have it off of the stage immediately.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, they waited until we got a forklift on the stage and took it off before they could continue filming.
Wow, that's deep.
There was a lot of problems in that show. I mean, think of it. This is how weird this show is. We actually had 2 days that everybody just walked away from the set.
Wow.
And didn't even finish. Didn't film that day.
Why was this? Was this because one of the stars was the problem, or was it easy to work with, or just you had nothing to do, because there was no direction?
It was because of the O.J. Simpson trial the first time.
Okay.
And everybody walked away and kept and looked until the verdict came down that day, right? And the other day was the day, and it's funny that this is such an opposite. The other day that we had to quit filming was the day that Jerry Garcia died.
Wow.
And all the grips left. And the art department, and actually most of everybody just went to the park over in I can't think of the name of it. I want to say Golden State Park, but of course we were in Los Angeles. But our equivalent of that, they had a memorial service, and everybody just went to see that.
Huh.
That was it. I mean, it's really funny. This is the first time I ever thought that was the first show that had happened twice.
Was that 91 or 92? It was around there.
Yes.
Because I was in college. I remember.
Absolutely.
I was a DJ back then.
How am I supposed to know that?
I just remember Jerry Garcia. I must have been in college. It had to be in like 91. I'll look it up.
Yeah, something like that. You want to hear something funny is my daughter, my oldest daughter at the time, came in and did me a favor. She put together a group of her high school friends, and we rented them a space, and they for 3 weeks solid, they stuffed little foam pieces into candy wrappers, because we had a huge raining candy scene.
Yes, I remember that.
And they did thousands upon thousands of them.
That was a cool scene, actually, because I remember the candy falling down.
Right. Well, and the thing is we couldn't do it with real candy because they wouldn't fall right, and they became dangerous. We tested it. It's funny. It's kind of amazing how it's all right if one kind of hits you accidentally, but believe me, when they're just showering, they really hurt, and it's hard to deliver a line. So, we filled them all with foam.
Did you have to buy a bunch of candy to test it? That's like,
well, we
or did you just test a handful?
Well, we tested handfuls.
So use a little,
we throw them up in the air
like a mouse. Did you test it with a mouse and just drop some Snickers bar on his head?
You're so damn weird.
Anyway.
No, but we tested it, and then we decided that we were going to have to fill them with foam, and we just did thousands.
Wasn't there like remember cheeseburgers and like other things in the? It was junk food that he wished for, I think.
Yeah, but I think that all the other stuff we did, we actually did a lot of it optically. The stuff that we didn't want to do optically at that time was when he was speaking. And when they were talking back and forth, because there were more complications. This was kind of doing your visuals with CGI. This was more back in the old days, and it was
like around the time of batteries not included and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I wish I had junk food from here to the sky.
Why not? Higher than high? Then you got junk food from here to the sky. I am Kazaam.
That's it? A Happy Meal?
Oh.
Dad.
So it was that you could
It's weird
do
why
shots.
do I remember so much about Kazaam?
Well, you know what? Everybody kind of there are a couple shows that I worked on that I don't understand why people even remember that they exist. Strays was a weird one. I mean, why? How is it that came up?
I saw that for the first time like a month ago on YouTube. I mean, that's where I saw Strays.
But the weirdest one to me was Breaking 2.
Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
I think I have that album. I don't think I saw the movie, but I have the album, I think.
So I couldn't believe it when my daughter called me about 4 years ago, and she goes, "I can't believe it. I went to an 80s party, and at the 80s party, Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo is showing in the background, and we started to look up, and I just happened to look up, and I see your name drift by, and I go, are you kidding me? And I was like, Breaking 2? Really? Seriously? And she goes, yeah, it's a really popular film. That and Critters 2. And I'm like,
Critters 2 was popular? Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to make a comeback because you know how people like nostalgia and stuff like that. So I think we got through the 70s nostalgia and now we're kind of coming into the 80s.
No, we're totally into the 80s nostalgia. Yeah. Trust me on this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like...
Well, I work at a radio station that plays 80s music during the day. Like
yeah, exactly.
At noon.
How about the song from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dawkins song?
Yeah.
Man, it's... Dream Warrior, I don't want to dream no more.
Was that Dawkins? I didn't realize that.
It was Dawkins, yeah.
Wow. Oh, speaking of music.
That's a popular song.
I've got a huge announcement. Do I want to do that now? Well, we can do it again later.
Okay, we'll do it now.
We're going to have some new music coming down the pike. It's going to be freaking amazing. I just can't figure out what song to use.
Oh.
So I reached out to the guy.
Oh, that's right.
I reached out to Richard Christie on the Howard Stern Show.
Yeah.
And much to my shock, he actually took the trouble to send me an email back, and I really appreciate the fact that he did that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because I sent him an email saying, even if it's just to say F you, just respond to this email. That's what I said at the end. And so he responded, he's like, you know what? You can use our music. So he's in a band called Charred Walls of the Damned. And I figured it's a good fit to like horror.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
So I'm going to honor him by using it for Star Wars when we do Star Wars.
Oh, awesome! So that'll be our new theme music is going to come out and be opened on Star Wars.
Exactly. And I was digging around online and I found a list that he made, and I think I shared it with you.
Yeah.
But it was a list of his top 21 movies, and one of them, number 17. I remember number 17 was Black Christmas.
Oh.
So I had to mention that because we talked about Black Christmas
That's
before.
right.
But anyway, I want to know why he likes Black Christmas. But anyway.
Well, there we go.
So anyway, we have some new music coming up, and I'm excited about it. So.
Well, that's.
And I've been listening to Howard Stern for years, so it's my connection to Howard that makes it more impactful. I can't understand
your fascination with Howard Stern.
I know, most people don't. But the people that don't never really listen to him, so. It's kind of like I never use cocaine.
Right.
So I don't really understand why people use it. It's kind of the same. Well, I mean, that's probably a bad analogy.
Yeah,
but anyway, you get my point.
I have no idea what you're talking
about. I've never kicked an egg up in the air to try it. But I don't understand why people would try it. I might try it, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to use a hard-boiled egg.
So, Shaolin Soccer, man.
Yes.
I'm telling you. That's the one that you got to see, and you can pull it out and say, okay, this is the weirdest.
It's like a lot of those movies, like Kentucky Fried Movie.
I can't believe that you're
Amazon Women on the Moon. Like, these are all movies everybody should see, I think.
Right.
Well, I mean, maybe not the same. They're not the same, but they're all movies that are like Blazing Saddles.
This is like that, only good. Well, Blazing Saddles, yeah.
Everybody should see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You should see Shaolin Soccer.
And everybody should see Doctor Strange. What's it called?
And Kazaam.
It was Dr. Strangelove or How I Stopped Worrying and Loved the Bomb.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Sure. What's the question?
Well, I noticed that we were starting our last podcast. Mm-hmm. You were yawning, and I offered you coffee.
That's right.
And you said, ask me sometime about yawning and why people don't do it in movies.
Yeah, and they don't do it in the movies because you don't want people
to
yawning in the audience because it's actually it is, you can catch a yawn. Now, you do see people occasionally put their arms up like this, in that stretching kind of look, and that kind of implies a yawn, and that's kind of what we replace it with.
Ah.
Yeah.
What if it's a yawn like in Shaolin Soccer and Shaolin Soccer and they're trying to do some crazy effect where something comes out of their mouth?
Yeah, but the thing is you see somebody yawn, the first thing you know is you're
Somebody's
opening your
yawning.
mouth. Yeah.
I thought it was just like they don't want people to see the fillings or something. Whatever.
It sort of kind of goes with. There's this thing that actors never do is actors very rarely close doors behind them, because when they come into a scene, they don't want to break your concentration.
Right.
On.
They don't close the door unless it's important, like they're locking it.
Well, of course,
for some reason.
that's
or like
a different,
somebody's chasing them, like Freddy's chasing them.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But just in general, when somebody walks into a room, actors they try and, for instance, there are certain things that there are standard things that actors try and do in order to get more screen time. For instance, if you're in a group shot with a bunch of people, you try and step on somebody else's line, because then
people will look at you.
Then they have to put you in a 2-shot and then a 1-shot as a close-up.
Oh, interesting.
See, because if you step on somebody else's line, then you're saying that line together. They're not isolated in sound, and then you have to you actually have to go in and carry that actor all the way through and see them more.
So the way
some
we
of those
have,
old TV character actors, man, were just terrible about that kind of crap on stage. Man, it'd be like they just step on lines all the time, and you're just like, ah.
It's like if you watch a Martin and Lewis show, sometimes you can tell when they were fighting with each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Because they were stepping on each other's lines all the time. And I thought it was part of the comedy, but then when I learned more about them, I was like, oh, okay. So what about smoking? Because I noticed, nowadays, maybe it's a new thing.
Yeah.
You rarely see anybody actually inhaling the smoke. You only see them blowing it out or putting it up to their mouth. I mean, it's rare that you see anybody take a drag like they did, back in The Conversation, for example.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That was a weird movie I just pulled out of my head.
Well, the thing is nowadays the smoking thing signifies somebody who isn't together or is evil.
Is evil, yes.
Is evil. But what was really great was
the days
John
have
Waters.
changed since James
have
Dean.
Have you ever looked up John Waters anti-smoking?
No, I love John Waters.
In the 80s, okay, look this up. In the 80s, you could go into a theater, and it was the very first that you didn't smoke in the theaters, right? And so John Waters did this little public service announcement where he sits. You just see him walk in, and he sits down, and he looks right at the camera, and he goes, and he pulls out a cigarette. He goes, "I've been hired to tell you," tamping the cigarette down, so opening up the pack, that this theater no longer allows smoking in the theater.
Wow.
We thank you
nobody's
for
getting
your
this visual.
cooperation.
I'm the only one getting the visual. That's awesome, though.
Oh, yeah. It's very funny.
Speaking of, maybe we should do Serial Mom. That's a good one.
Serial Mom?
That's kind of a horror movie. Do you know what I'm talking about? Serial Mom?
No, I don't. Huh?
It's a John Waters movie, and it had Kathleen Turner as a serial killer. But it's just, the whole movie's crazy. Anyway, I can't. All of his movies are crazy.
Yeah, we could do Polyester. Yeah,
Polyester would be good. Pink Flamingos. I don't know.
Flamingos, either one. Yeah.
What was the one with the dog turd? I can't remember which one that was.
I think that was Polyester, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, we're getting off subject. We're talking about John Waters movies. We're definitely time to quit.
I think we're pretty much done here. My job here is done.
Right.
Chaos has been sown and raised.
Wow.
I'm Kurt Thomas along with Mick Strawn. We thank you for joining us on Dream Warrior Review. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can reach us by email at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com or on Facebook and Twitter at DW Review. See you next time on Dream Warrior Review.
Hello, I'm John Waters, and I'm supposed to announce there is no smoking in this theater, which I think is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard of in my life. How can anyone sit through a length of a film, and especially a European film, and not have a cigarette? But don't you wish you had one right now?